Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we have my first reading vlog of June. Now, technically, I am starting this on the last day of March, but we'll count it as the first week of June. And school is wrapping up. 3 days. 3 days, because I'm starting this on a Tuesday. So it's going to be a shorter vlog, but I imagine that I'll get a lot of books read because I have been reading a lot lately. So as for what I plan to get to this week, I have a couple carryovers. So obviously I'm carrying over Fundamentalism and American Culture. I started it during Bookopoly-thon. It wasn't reading quickly, so I set it aside to pick up a book that better fit the prompt. So I'm carrying this over, and I do really hope to finish it, although it might go into the next week as well. And I'm also carrying over Red Famine from this month because yesterday evening I didn't end up reading any more physically, like with an actual physical book and not an ebook, because I just wanted to lay and read words. I just wanted to, read some easy stuff after I finished everything and got unpacked and etc. So I should be able to finish this week for sure, because I have less than 100 pages left. So as far as what I'm going to pick up voluntarily, I did get the first Isaiah Dunn book from the library, ebook version, because I have the arc of the second book and I really want to read it. It's the next oldest arc that I have, but I can't read the second book until I've read the first. And so I've started that last night. I hopefully will finish that up today, maybe, maybe not, but I'm going to read that this week. And I really haven't decided on anything else. But what's really calling out to me are my graphic novels March. And I think that'll be a nice way, a nice cozy read for the week. And then, I really loved being able to just pick up the next book on my Kindle with all the arcs that I have. So I might do that. But I do have all of my stuff over here. That's all of my TBR plus the other books that I had left over, including Burgermeister's Daughter, which is getting rolled over to yet another month, but all of the graphic novels and stuff. And so I really do need to get to those. So I might just plow through those and get those read this week. But I'm just really so excited that the school year is almost done, because these children have lost their mind. But I say that just about every time, so it'll be nice to go into the summer. Hey, so we are nearing the end of the year, and I thought I would have a little roll of me packing up some of my books. I have packed up most of them, as you can see over here. Obviously the geography books I'm going to leave here, but the books on these last two shelves that are mine, I'm going to put in this box that I have over here and take them home. Here's a little bit of that, and then my kids are coming. So it looks like everything just fits, probably a little bit over, but I have actually already loaded up 3 other boxes that I need to take, and I'm going to see if I'm going to be able to take them into my new classroom. So they're still in my car, but this is going to go down to my car later today, and now I have to get ready for these lovely children to come back in this room. So we have 1 day left. I have 1 day left as a middle school teacher. We had awards day today, and I was thinking, this is the last group of middle schoolers that I'm ever going to teach. Okay, could have picked a better overall group. I still love them. Well, maybe except for one. No, just kidding. I say that, and it's just been a difficult year there's just been a lot that has piled up over the past 2.25 school years that has just been a lot. And I know it has piled up for the kids, and there's different behavior issues with the kids and different expectations and different things happening and so much changing. Like these kids, I have a distinct suspicion that a lot of the misbehavior comes from them craving stability. Like these kids lose their mind when anything changes. And we're like, wait, we're just changing this little thing here. It's not a big deal. But when you think about how much in their life has changed drastically over these past 2 years, I understand it. You know, they didn't get to finish elementary school like with, you know, celebrations and etc. because like school wasn't in session. We had virtual school, you know? And then last year we had all kinds of different attendance requirements, like 1 day a week, then 2 days a week, then 4 days a week with a Friday of e-learning, and then all sorts of different like social distancing and wearing masks and sitting in the pods and etc. etc. Like things changed so often last year. And then this year, a lot of people were in the mindset of, we just got to get back to normal. We just got to get back to normal and pretend that nothing else is going on. But also you still have to do this, this, and this. But if this, and that happens, then it's okay. And then there's this, and then there's that. There weren't as many big noticeable changes this year, but there was just that air of, okay, what next? What shoe is going to drop next? So it's a lot of those little things that just, it's cumulative stress. And with my grade level, there were some people that definitely had gotten burned out. I work with amazing people. My grade has some of the best teachers in the school, hands down. But the thing is, when you are that diligent and that dedicated of a teacher in this sort of a situation, there's a lot of burnout. And when you burn out, it spreads to other people. It's, you know, misery loves company. And the reasons that they're burned out, it's totally understandable. But it just added to the stress in a way that I didn't expect this year. So I think going to a new school, going to new grade levels, not really a new subject because I'm still teaching geography. So yeah, I get to still wear all my fun geography shirts. But it's going to be a completely fresh start. My good friend that I've worked with since coming back into teaching, she's moving on to a different role. So even if I had stayed at my school, I wouldn't be teaching with her. So I think it's going to be a good fresh start, and I'm excited about that. I did this year pull back a lot. I realized that there were things that I was doing that were exhausting me and were getting me to a point where I was not in a good headspace, and I was not capable of making good decisions, and I was stressed, and it was not good for me, for my health, for my mental health. And so I made a lot of proactive choices. And I think, and some of the things that I had thought about, I just completely was like, no, I need to separate from all of that. I need no extra stresses, no like school related pressures. The only thing I did voluntarily was youth and government and Mondo UN. Like I was in an ESOL, English Speech of Other Language program. I have 2 more credits that I need. And the district pays for these classes. But I took a class last semester that was my 3rd of the 5 that I needed. It was a joke. The class was ridiculous, and it was adding stress. And I realized, I need to step back. I need to get back into the cohort to finish those up. And I want to. And I think a lot of I think I was disengaged this year. I think in a good way from a lot of like school related stuff and curriculum planning and that whole side of myself. And it was good and it was necessary. So I don't know what that will mean for my reading going forward. I've definitely read a lot more this school year than I did in the past. It's because I was prioritizing self-care and stuff like that, that got really philosophical. But I think I needed to get that off my chest and explain that. And it's part of my life. It's part of who I am. And I think having this fresh start will enable me to go in to a new school year, new environment, brand new group of kids, new age level. You know, I think it'll be good. So as far as reading, I have been trying to get caught up on things that I didn't do over the weekend, and I've not been great at not procrastinating. So the past 2 nights, I actually haven't cross-stitched at all, which meant that I haven't listened to Fool's Errand. So I'm still 3 hours away, which means I didn't technically finish 4 Robin Hobb books in a month. I think it's probably for the best that I didn't finish 4 Robin Hobb books in a month. But I'm going to work towards that point today, cross-stitching and reading some more. I read a little bit this morning in Red Famine. Couldn't remember what the book was that I read. I also, yesterday, first book of Whatever-a-thon that I finished was the second in the Isaiah Dunn books. And I haven't talked about them at all. I will say they're really, really good. One of the things that I'm going to be doing for myself as a reader is I'm going to be looking more for books geared for an older audience now that I'm going to high school. So these books will not be ones that I purchase or anything like that, but they're written really well. I would say that they are children's literature because, like, really, really young middle grades, or really older children's literature. Because Isaiah is in 5th grade in the first book and just starting 6th grade in the second book. And he has to go through a lot. Like in the first book, sorry, I keep changing positions with the camera because I'm holding it and trying to find a comfortable position. He goes through a lot. In the first book, it starts after his father has died. And his father died unexpectedly on Thanksgiving, and that family's not dealing with it well. His mother really isn't dealing with it well. She, like, sort of quit her job. No money's coming in. They get kicked out of their apartment, basically, staying in this motel, and they get kicked out of the motel. And he's having to deal with all of this. And also, like, he loves to write. His father also loved to write. And he likes to write these poems, and they're age appropriate, like developmentally appropriate, I should say, how he's writing them. And they're cute and they're adorable. The way that different people come into his life, it makes sense. And the struggles that he has, it makes sense. And I really enjoyed it. And I think her first name is Kelly Baptiste, the author. She said she didn't think that she thought Isaiah was done with his story in the first book, but then she realized that he had more to tell. And I think it shifted in the second book, which I really appreciated, and I thought it was awesome. And he was looking at a different thing, and he was interacting with another kid in a mentor type program. And I really loved the change in his relationship with Angel, who was an antagonist of sorts in the first book. I don't know, it's hard to talk about children's books because obviously I'm not the target audience, and I'm definitely going to be a little bit more judicious in the books that I pick up because I am now going to be geared towards an older audience. But I think they were really well written and I enjoyed the read. So my first book for Whatever-a-thon I have finished, and that is Isaiah Dunn Saves the Day. So I really enjoyed that. I'm going to put it into the spreadsheet. And actually, I need to print out one of the bingo cards so I can pay attention and track things. So I am now going to chill for the evening, maybe get some more stuff done. Who knows? Catch up some more. I can't believe the school year's over in one day, but I've talked long enough. This clip is already at 11 minutes. We made it to Friday and the end of the school year. I don't have words. So, like, I'm so relieved that the school year is done. And to make things interesting for the last day, we had a major rainstorm at my school, not even the whole county, which knocked out our power and left one of the teachers stranded in the elevator. Poor thing. We found out she was stuck in the elevator, like, whoa! So, yeah, my principal let us go a little bit early because the power wasn't supposed to come back on anytime soon. And when he said it, he's like, and in a fitting way to close out this year, it doesn't look like the power is coming back on. It's weird ending this year. I remember when I was leaving my old school, and I really was torn with leaving because I loved those kids. I loved that place. I don't have the same connection to this school. I love the kids. Like seeing a lot of them there to say goodbye. It was awesome. I'm gonna start making plans now for how I'm going to give myself a schedule and still get things done and ready, and high school, gotta figure things out, block schedule, all that sort of stuff, and still read a lot. So speaking of reading, I said I was going to finish or read cross stitch yesterday. No. So I didn't read any more of Fool's Errand, but I did read the second Percy Jackson book in graphic novel, and I'm halfway through the third. I like them, but I like the novel version better. I just don't like this adaptation as much, which is kind of sad, but they're quick and easy to read. And my battery is now blinking, so I'm gonna end the update here instead of rambling on like yesterday. And maybe sometime this weekend, Mom and I are gonna go to a furniture store and see if I can find a reading chair for my library. I'm excited about that. So it's Sunday morning, and for once in several weeks, I did not actually read a lot Saturday. I had a hard time getting going with stuff, and then I was working on editing my May wrap up. I had a lot of editing to do because like I didn't do any throughout the month. And I read 33 books. So that took hours. Might have gone faster if I'd had a faster computer, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I had to take breaks throughout, which is probably why it took hours. But I did get back to cross stitching and audiobook listening. I went ahead and got some more credits on Libro FM because you can do this thing where you get yourself a gift membership and the credits are the same as your monthly credits. And because I was listening to the Tawny Man trilogy on Scribd, but it goes up to only 2 times speed. And so I'm like, no, I'm gonna get them on Libro FM and go up to 3 times speed. And I did that, and I finished Fool's Errand. In my previous vlog, I talked about how much I loved getting back to this series. And I love just how much Robin Hobb expands the world with each thing. And she's really getting into the wit and everything that goes with it. And I did try to get an audiobook or ebook copy of the short story, The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince, which you should read before the Tawny Man trilogy. I'm gonna end up reading, partway through Golden Fool, because I did start that last night, but it's not available. So there is an audiobook for it, but it's not available in the US. Annoying. But I read that, I finished that. I love Fitz's perspective. I love the connections that we're making, how we're expanding the world. And it gets really sad at the end because something happens. And I'm not gonna say, and I had a feeling it was coming because I read the synopsis for the second book and it revealed something that happened at the end of the first book. And I went, oh man. But you could kind of sense that this certain thing was coming, just, basic biology, etc. So it was really sad. And just his narration as a man and helping with Dutiful, I can't explain the change in the characterization, in the voice that Robin Hobb is giving him, but it fits. It makes sense. He's now in his, 30s somewhere, late 30s, mid 30s, early 40s. I don't actually know, but it makes sense. So Robin Hobb might be just one of my favorite authors ever. So I really enjoy that. And later today, I plan to use my new reading chair. Yay! You'll see that in the library vlog whenever that goes up. And hopefully finally finish Red Famine and then maybe get to American Fundamentalism because I really want to cross that off. And I'm not going to count either Fool's Errand or Red Famine for Whatever-a-thon because I read the vast majority of those books prior to the start of June. I just haven't finished them yet, but I am going to count American Fundamentalism because I'm only a short portion in, and that's going to help me fulfill the prompt of on a previous TBR, because I've lost count of how many previous TBRs that one's been on, but I'll get it off. So I may come back later today to close out the vlog. Probably will. Hopefully we'll get some more reading in. So we are wrapping up this vlog in potentially my new filming location. I have to figure things out, but you're seeing a glimpse of my new reading chair and I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be putting some stuff on the wall, and I'm probably going to take this mirror down because of that reflection that it gets. I actually, looking at the camera, can't see the reflection, but I want to have books in view. Really successful reading week, even though I didn't read as much as I had thought, especially on my audiobook, but I did finish Fool's Errand, and I'm about 20% into Golden Fool, and I'm loving returning to Fiz's perspective and everything that's going on. It's like coming back home. I really love it. And since I updated this morning, I came over to my reading chair, relaxed, and read the rest of Red Famine. And it did, like I thought, read quite quickly. And Anne Applebaum makes some really good, really profound correlations in the last couple chapters as she talks about how the story of the famine was told, aka not told, after that, to create this picture for the Soviets wanted to portray that everything was great and hunky-dory, and there wasn't a famine that killed millions. And how that has affected, even up until today, how things are portrayed and talked about and discussed. And that aspect made a lot of things make sense for the current conflict. And I really hate that the current conflict is not talked about, because it's still going on. Like, this war, this invasion has lasted for March, April, May, 3 months now, like 3.5 months, and it's still ongoing. This was really good. I did place this on my list. I am going to add it to my collection, and I'm really pleased that I had the opportunity to read this. So I like that I was able to finish on a high note. So there we go. There's the vlog that closes out the last week of school, mostly the first week of June. It's a shorter vlog, but I read 6 books. Now, granted, 4 of them were graphic novels, but hey, I got them done. I finished an audiobook, started another one. Pretty good reading week. So here's to the rest of Whatever-a-thon and getting into some really good books, because I'm really excited about them. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.